Well, with elections on the mind tonight, we are talking to Martin Kifer, a professor at High Point University, about all things elections. High Point U just recently did a poll of about 1,000 people.
That's right.
That poll was online. Voters were asked, is the country and is the state headed in the right direction? What did you find?
Yeah, well, you can see our numbers that what we generally find with right direction, wrong track questions is they're negative, right? That somebody is not feeling good about the direction in which places are headed. And so here you can see, over 50% of people say the country's on the wrong track. Fewer than that say the state's on the wrong track, but part of that is that there are a bunch of people who are unsure. So, we're used to seeing negative responses to that question.
All the time.
Yeah, well,
This is
since
not
the
anything
first time
new.
I ever did that question, it was like that.
Okay, all right. So this particular survey was taken late September all the way through mid-October. So the shutdown started beginning of October,
Yes.
right? So that means that the question was asked, and some people got this question before the shutdown. Some people got it after the shutdown. But
That's
this
right.
is the question. Do you approve or disapprove of how Congress is handling its job?
Yeah, well, that's another one too. Congress often polls lower than almost any other institution that we poll. But in this case, we do have some evidence that it moved. That I think they were at like 31 approval rating the last time we polled, and then this time it went down. And so it's probably a significant move. It may have to do with what's happening in Washington, D.C.
Okay, and even if it wasn't, if they got the question before the shutdown, they still didn't approve of what Congress was doing.
Right. It could be they could be reacting to any number of things.
Okay. All right. With that said, the president is calling for Republicans to end the filibuster. So let's explain what's the filibuster, why is it important, why is he asking for this?
Yeah, well, the filibuster is a special rule that they have in the Senate, and they don't have one like that in the U.S. House. And it means that people can speak at length without being interrupted. In practice, what it means is people can say, oh yeah, I threaten to do this, and then that will stop votes on particular issues. In this case, it has to do with a funding measure that would have continued government operations. So, the question is whether or not you will lift that and just go to a majority. And Republicans in the U.S. Senate do have 53 votes. So if they might have a majority to pass what they want if they change the filibuster rule.
Right, because right now they need 60 votes.
That's right.
Correct? And so if they don't have all 60 votes, which is why they've voted for 14 times and it hasn't passed, you've got the 54 to a 44, something like that. But if they did the majority, then some of those would have passed already.
Yeah, that's right. And we've already gotten rid of the filibuster for things like nominations. So if somebody's going to be Commerce Secretary, they actually only need a majority of votes in the U.S. Senate now, not 60 votes. Even if you're nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court now, and that's changed over time, you don't need 60 votes to confirm you. So that's new.
And he's saying, hey, Republicans, get rid of this so that you can just pass whatever it is and move on out.
That's right. We'll make it more like the House where you just need that majority.
Okay. As we look at local politics, voter turnout for municipal elections, usually very low. I think it's significantly low this time around. But there's still time for you to get out and vote till 7:30. And I want you to kind of talk about that, about why it's so important to vote in a municipal election.
Yeah, municipal elections are extremely important because the day-to-day things that we see happening around us, whether it has to do with the services we receive from the city or, this is not about the county, but county, it's really important. That touches your day-to-day life. In this case, here in Greensboro, for instance, we are going to see a transition one way or another at the mayoral level. And so whoever is going to be in charge is going to have a chance to shape policy in cooperation with their council.
Right, and that means they could raise some tax rates, lower tax rates, do something else.
Change services, give particular kinds of clearances for, everything that the city has the ability to change.
All right, real quick, we have a little bit of time. I wanted to look at one more survey data point, so let's bring that up. And it's favorable and unfavorable of people and certain entities. And so you polled for Roy Cooper, who will be running.
Yes. Right, and so this is registered voters, and so when we looked at all adults, the percentage is a little bit lower. Not everybody responds to this. But Roy Cooper has generally polled pretty well, here in North Carolina through his time as governor and so forth. You can see Governor Stein there, and then close on heels there, we've got Vice President Vance and President Trump. we did a bunch of other folks as well. We're looking at a bunch of other things as well.
All right, and so they can find the poll online if they want to see all of those data points?
That's right. Google HPU poll, and you'll get a table that has this survey right at the top. And so you'll be able to click through and you'll see it. There's pages of data that we've collected over the last month and a half.
Yeah, be informed, see what other people are saying, see what's being polled about, see what's being talked about. Thank you so much for
Exactly.
joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.